Arsenal are in big trouble. The game ends 1-0. PSG goes to France with an advantage. But this game, the scores did not tell the full story. The score line definitely did not tell the full story, because when you look at this game, you understand how Arsenal are in huge trouble. I've been saying this a lot more. I told you guys that PSG, attacking wise, the fluidity in PSG's lineup is honestly remarkable. It is scary even to even think about. And today we have seen it. I said in my preview that there's going to be a key matchup. The key matchup is going to be Kvaratskhelia versus Jurriën Timber. And what did we see? From the first goal, Kvaratskhelia absolutely did not let Jurriën Timber settle. The moment he got that ball to his right foot, basically passed the ball to Dembele with his outside foot, and bash bosh, it was in the back of the net. Now, this game is not just about that goal. It's about the matchup. I've been saying it. The Arsenal are trying to make things disjointed. They are trying to understand, and they are trying to press from high, but also utilize the long balls that they can to actually punish teams. However, PSG are a different side because they are not scared to hold the ball. They are not scared. And whenever they do that, they invite you to come play. Now, in the Premier League, Arsenal are very good at actually beating people that actually invite them to come and play. And then they find it really difficult for the likes of Nottingham Forest that sits back and hit on counter attack. But this PSG team is a blend. It's literally, for lack of a better term, a transition with possession play. You understand? They have the transition, they have the possession play, and they control the ball. So they honestly are covered in a lot of scenarios. They are covered in a lot of playing styles that you want. Whichever you want, they got it. And this is a problem for Arsenal. Like I said, the levels that PSG were on today, Arsenal was nowhere near. And I know that might be harsh for a lot of people to hear because Arsenal had the opportunity for Martinelli. However, PSG in this game could have been 3-0 going into Paris. They could have been 3-0 going into Paris. You had the chance from Goncalo Ramos, which is mind blowing how he actually tried to finish that ball. Why would you toe it? That's what we used to play, or the style we used to play, or the technique we used to play when we were kids. You hit the ball with your toe, so it's very quickly, and people cannot catch it before it gets to you. So I understand that that is something, but in my mind, he had the opportunity to use an outside foot, inside foot, do whatever he wanted to do, but he decided to toe the ball because one thing we know, you use your toe, that ball is going up. It is going up. And so that was a problem. And Arsenal did not have any answer to Goncalo Ramos running in behind to Saliba. How Saliba was going the opposite way, I would never understand. Now you also have the opportunity that fell to Barcola. He pushed that ball way too wide because that ball would have been a good goal because it was on his right foot in a right position, and then he made a mistake to push it out wide and then had to cut it back and go to João Neves. João Neves had an opportunity there to score also, but chose to hit the ball all the way. He did not choose, but just his technique failed him in that position. Why am I giving you guys all these examples? I'm giving you all these examples because Arsenal need to do a better job. They need to do a better job at controlling the game. After PSG scored, Arsenal had to figure out what in the press was working. And when they did that, you saw them closing down PSG, closing down PSG, closing down PSG, and it was working. But in my mind, this has to be the lack of party in the team. Arsenal could not control this ball. They could not control the game, especially because Partey was not in that team. They just could not have possession of passes that I would like. And of course, you still had the likes of Bukayo Saka trying his best to beat Nuno Mendes, got the best of Nuno Mendes several times. However, this team, they just don't stop running. And so going into France, going into Parc de France, it has to be Arsenal scoring the first goal. They have to score the first goal. If not, it is truly going to be end. It is going to be the end of this goddamn Champions League for Arsenal. It is truly disappointing the way they play this game. I understand they're missing a lot of players, but Saliba looks shocking. Kivior amongst the centre backs looked like the most experienced. Yorin Timber could have gotten a yellow card and even a red because before the start of the 30th minute in the first half, he had already committed 6 fouls. Every single thing was just going wrong. It was not the way they wanted to play. And then there was one key thing about PSG playing out of the back that Arsenal just could not figure out. Dembele, all the way from playing that number 9, would drop to the back. He will drop to the number 6 position to get the ball from the likes of Nuno Mensch. And when he gets the ball, the likes of Nuno Mensch, he's literally in the middle of Arsenal players and they do not know who is going there to mark him. This is a problem. They play a false nine tactic in this situation because they do not have a number 9 that does the job very well. However, Dembele is the danger man. When you do not know who is meant to mark the danger man, you start seeing problems. Because after he did that, he passed the ball. He got the ball from Nuno Mensch, passed the ball to Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia took on Urian Timber. Dembele is not running full sprint. He understands that is the job of Arsenal. He's taking his sweet time, but this is where the likes of Thomas Partey being in this team would realize what he's meant to do in that position. He would sit in that semicircle in front of the 18-yard box, which is where Dembele got the ball. But because not Arsenal fans, but Arsenal players were all rushing back, and that hole just kept on opening, he scored the goal. So going into Parc de France, it is going to be even more hostile because the Paris Saint-Germain fans, with their tifos and their flares, are not going to make this easy. And I know this team is a young team. I think it's 23 and a half average for Arsenal. But this is truly their best chance to get to the Champions League final in a very long time. PSG has absolutely bailed Arsenal out in this first half because if they had converted what they needed to convert, Arsenal would have been out of this entire Champions League within the first half, within the first leg. It is a problem that Ateta needs to fix. And in that sense, likes of Ben White coming in was really good. I love to see Ben White back on the pitch. Trossard coming in did his job right, but Trossard did not give the impact that Partey gave against Real Madrid. And so it will be good to see Thomas Partey actually coming back into this game. And I will see you guys in the next one. Parc de France next week. It is going to be a tough one for a lot of people. So make sure you guys keep it tuned. Hit that subscribe button so you do not miss anything that we do here on Pillar Sports. We go lives and do a watch along for these kinds of games and give you guys live reactions. So make sure that you guys join us so you guys do not miss anything. Of course, Hakimi did his thing today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.